Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of An Anatomy of the Arts. I'm your host, Ethan Neville, and today we are joined by Zachary Stein. You'll know him as Steinza.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I keep saying this every time I start. I need like one of those decks that have like round of applauses on them and everything, so it's not just me doing in my
Sound effect.
Yeah. I need a stream or something. But I mean, right. So when I normally interview people, I get right into it, and I go right to the very beginning. Now I didn't know this until you started using it as promo for your recent song Bible Bluff. But am I right in saying that you intended to be a preacher?
Yeah.
That was your plan.
That was the plan. I went as far as my associate's degree.
Okay.
Funny story. I actually just went home. I haven't seen that degree in years. I graduated and got that piece of paper, and then went to work in finance, and then a few other random jobs, and now I'm in music. And I just went home to visit my parents, and I walk in, and it's like hanging on the wall. I was like, oh, that's nice to know that still exists somewhere. But yeah, man, I grew up super Christian and was really involved in church. I was 5-6 days a week up there doing everything that I could. I think a lot of that was a effort to get away from home when it was a little rough there. But yeah, that was my bread and butter for a long time. That's what I wanted to do and wanted to be.
So at what point did music come into your life?
It just kind of slowly and then all at once. I started playing guitar when I was really young. I was like 5 or 6. And I always did it. I was a real shy kid. I would be cooped up in my room just playing guitar and World of Warcraft.
So what a combination.
That was my bag, man. And I spent years and years just playing and practicing. And, when I went through high school, music didn't seem like a viable option. I started writing songs, and it was fun. Graduated high school, put a couple songs out just to get a kick out of it. And I started working in finance, doing retirement planning. And the type of people we would meet with at this firm were all rich old people. And, you sit down with all these rich old people and you meet them and you ask all of them, like, how'd you get all your money? And all of them, the vast majority of them, the common denominator would be, oh, I started this business. I started this product. I started this brand. I started this company. And I started seeing the pattern and picking up on the pattern after a couple of years. And simultaneously, I was getting real tired of the desk life, the 9-to-5 thing.
That's fair.
And so the thought occurred to me, like, man, I guess I should probably go do my own thing like all these rich old people did, because I see it paying off for them. And, so I sat at my desk for a few weeks wondering what that would be. And then I figured music was it. It's what I love to do, and it's what I've always done. So I quit my job in July of 2020, maybe the worst time to quit your job to pursue music.
Yeah, not the greatest time.
My job I do, My idea at the time was like, oh, I'm going to write 100 songs and email them to a publisher and get a publishing deal, and I'll be rich.
100 songs?
That was, I don't know.
How many songs did you get into that?
Maybe like 4.
Did you send them off to the publishing company?
Nope.
They're just out there somewhere.
What happened though is one of my good friends is this artist named Matt Mason, and I met him in church when I was a kid. He was like a leader in the youth group, and Matt went on like 2014, 2015. I was still in high school, but Matt had this song go crazy on SoundCloud, and his career took off, and he was on the radio and touring and doing all this crazy stuff. Years later, when I quit my job, Matt heard and wanted to toss me a bone, essentially. So invited me to Austin, where he was living at the time, and I got to kind of watch him in the studio making his second album. which I'd never seen before. I'd never been exposed to the music business or anything like that. But I got to see an artist doing their job.
Yeah.
And after that, I linked up with my previous manager, who I was with for years, great guy named Dylan Goldberg. And we set up a trip to go to Los Angeles for a couple months. I'd never been. And, you know, I showed up there and I started doing like songwriting sessions and studio sessions with new people, just meeting new people. And I think that trip in 2020, seeing the music business for the first time, I think made it feel real to me. Because, you know, when you sit outside of music, there's a lot of like mysticism and wonder, and everything's just kind of floating up in the air and it doesn't feel real. When I got there and I looked around, I was like, oh, this is a real industry where people have jobs and you can make a living. And it was really encouraging and really validating. And so I got home and really I just spent the last 5 years since then trying to grow a fan base and develop my sound and put out as much good music as possible.
And succeeding. Thank
you. Yeah, now we're here on the
exactly the pinnacle of your career, some may say. I mean, you said about Austin and then you said about LA, but you've also been to Nashville, right? I'm in Nashville.
I live in Nashville.
Right. Those are like three major hubs in American music. What one did you feel like more at home in? Is it Nashville?
Yeah, you know, this is an ongoing dilemma for me. Because historically, the music cities have been Los Angeles, New York, Austin, and Nashville.
Yeah.
Some maybe would throw Chicago in there, but really in 2025, it's reduced to Nashville and LA. And, you know, I'm from Virginia, which is not close to either of them. Nashville's a lot closer. And so when thinking about seeing my family and my friends, it was closer. Also, LA is just really expensive, man.
Yeah, so, crazy.
You know, when you're getting started in music, this stuff is expensive to do. And, you know, I was working a bunch of jobs and paying rent. And yeah, man, moving to LA is people that do that and, you know, land on their feet. That is impressive. It's really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, you said about, you know, growing up in church, but then you're also playing music on the side. Was your music ability coinciding with the church, or were you in a completely different pathway with that? Was it a lot of gospel and choir?
Yeah, man, 100. I think 100% coincided. That was my first time seeing like songwriting happen in person.
Right.
It was church music, but you know, songwriting is an art. No matter what you're writing about, you know, the art of expression. And that was my first time seeing that and seeing how the science behind it worked. And it's also where I learned how to produce. I feel very lucky to have learned it there because, you know, now I have the ability to produce and mix my own music. And yeah, man, I ran into a couple great mentors there, Dave Hummel and Sam Kelly, who are these incredibly talented guys that were just there making music. Dave does a lot of scoring work. He does like all the Nintendo stuff and does a lot of stuff for Sony. And
really?
Yeah, does a lot of stuff for Blizzard. You know, when you see promotional videos or trailers or stuff like that, he does a lot. He spends a lot of time scoring, and I got to learn a lot from him, and it was invaluable, man. Also, just playing in church on Sundays. You know, I learned how to play the guitar in my bedroom watching YouTube, but when I got older, the church was an opportunity for me to submerge myself in really great musicians that knew a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess it's like learning a language, you know, you go live in a different country.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I can only speak one language.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean,
yeah, you go submerge yourself in a different culture and you learn it quicker.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happened with me musically at the church, which I'm really thankful for.
Yeah. So. I mean, one of my, I keep saying, one of my previous guests, he's called Piano Marine Mike, and he blew up on TikTok with this piano cover, and he was a Marine in Vietnam, and he was stationed in Hawaii and South America, and did work in he was doing what's it called? Mission. He was doing mission in all of these countries after he left the Marines, in Africa as well. And he said that he was in this South American village one day, deep, like not really anything around. And he said there was a piano there, and the one language that everyone can speak in different countries, universally, is music. And I think that was, it's the big takeaway from music in general, is this language that, a piano doesn't have an accent. The way you play it is just the way you play it, and that's the way people hear it as well. So yeah. And whatever anyone's standpoint on religion is, like Christianity, especially in America, is like, it's the foundation to everyone's favorite genres. Blues, an incredible genre. It was all Christianity to begin with. Folk as well.
Music history is, you know what else I would credit a lot to, man? When I was in high school, I took, I don't know if England is the same way, but in the States, you can take courses in high school that count as like college credits, and they're called AP classes. So at the end of for instance, you could take AP biology, and then when you get to college, you no longer have to take that class because you already took it.
Yeah.
I took AP music theory, and the year that I took it, we had this professor named Mr. Hardwick, who was just this guy. He was there for like 2 years, and he was just really overqualified for the job. I think he was passed through town because his wife's family was there or something.
Right.
Now he's this European orchestra conductor who's like winning awards and stuff.
Really?
But for these couple of years, he was in my high school, like teaching me.
Yeah.
And this guy had such a passion for music history and where it all came from and how we ended up where we're at now in this modern era of music.
Yeah.
And you go all the way back. Music started as rhythm, drums, and music always too had a purpose, you know, like drums at wartime for unity and encouragement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But to your point about Christianity and music, like harmony was, I don't know if you could say invented, but harmony started because of St. Gregory. It was Gregorian chant. These motherfuckers were in the choir one day, and one of them accidentally sung a different note, and they all were like, "Whoa, that sounded pretty good together."
Yeah.
That evolved into 2-part harmony, and then 3-part, and then 4-part.
Just like cooking up heat.
Just
cooking that shit up.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. No, it is. I said it again. I need to stop saying. That's my challenge. When you were in your bedroom learning on YouTube. Now, I don't know if you can remember this, but who were you watching
to learn?
Yeah,
dude. At the time, YouTube was pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really picked up the guitar in probably 2004. And
how old are you?
I'm 26. I turned 27 this year.
You picked 5 years old.
I don't know that YouTube. I think YouTube started in 2006. I'm not sure, but before that, I remember
it did.
It was like E-Bombs World, and
that's foreign to me.
Yeah, there was like.
I'm sticking with Mighty Music. I'm 19.
Oh, dude, I thought you were older than me.
You thought I was older than you. You thought I was older than you. What?
Yeah, right.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was kind of pre-YouTube, but at the time, Ultimate Guitar was on the internet, and it was kind of, it was rough and questionable, but you would get up there and there'd be tabs for Crazy Train or Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. I just kind of started on the classics, and then really I remember in elementary school, my sister was really into this artist, City and Color, who
what's his name?
Dallas Green.
Oh my God, I love City and Colour. What are the two songs? Oh shit, I love this. Oh my God, no one ever talks about him. As much as I ever could, and
Yeah,
Sensible Heart, two of my
yeah.
favorite fucking songs. They are incredible.
Dude, both of those, I mean, he's still making great music to this day.
Mm,
Those first two albums, man, that is like it's so big in my musical DNA, And so,
really?
yeah, man, because my sister came home with one of his CDs and she put it on my iPod. And elementary school, dude, I was like ripping that on the bus, all angsty and shit. But that guy has those two albums, I'd never heard somebody play the guitar like that.
No,
Those
it's
shit.
insane. Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time learning all those songs, and I still, to this day, most of my songs are they're those guitar shapes,
Yeah.
that I got from that guy.
Damn. I've never heard no one talks about him for right, so all the listeners have heard this story, but like I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere in England. I'm in the middle of the countryside, like the sticks. Like you talk about the sticks. We're in the marshes, right? So no one listens to like the music that I listen to. I mean, only since maybe 2021 have people started to become more aware, because like folk rock is massive. It blew up on TikTok, like Evergreen by Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners.
I love them.
Insane. I saw them live. Incredible. Lake Missoula.
Wow.
Such a great song. But no one really hears this music. So I never hear anyone talk about City and Colour. That guy, his fucking voice as well. You talk about people that have like not the classic voice. He is one of them. He's got like you see him perform and you're like, that's surely not the same guy. When I started following him on Instagram, this guy had like sleeves of tattoos, a massive grey beard. He was like a Viking, right?
Yeah.
He's got the most whimsical voice ever. It
Dude,
literally, it's insane.
He comes from like a screamo metal band called Alexis on Fire, where it's literally like death metal. It sounds completely different than City and Colour, but he was the front man up there screaming.
Really?
Yeah, and then City and Colour was like his side project that he put up on this at the time in the early 2000s. It was MySpace. MySpace was like the TikTok of the time, where
yeah.
Yeah, he came up on MySpace, man, posting side project music, and City and Colour happened.
It's just in his feels. That's all it was. He was just wanted an outlet for it. Damn. Anyways, you said about playing guitar in your room. You didn't mention writing and like when that started, but you're like an incredible writer as well. Like,
thank you.
Let's not be around the bush here. You've written insane. Like you've written songs that like other people's favorite songs.
Thank you,
you have these extensive writing credits on like an insane amount of songs. Do you get more joy from writing and expression over singing or over writing?
Writing.
Yeah. Really? Right. Why? Tell me why.
Dude, it's a funny thing because every time I say this, people look at me like I'm insane. But I think it's because for 10, 15 years of my life, all I did was play guitar. I was the guitar player in the band. And then there was just a day in high school where I was like, I'm going to try singing. And I did, and I made some videos, and it's terrible. It was terrible. And I started watching YouTube videos on how to sing and how to breathe properly and exercises and practicing. And so I kind of have always just felt like a guitar player that just sings on the side as a secondary thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, of course.
Nobody's introduced, by the time I started putting out music and trying to grow a fan base, nobody is perceiving it that way because they're getting hit with both at once. And it's like, this guy does both. But in my mind, I guess knowing where it came from, singing to me, I don't know. I love to sing, but I don't think of myself as a singer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, oh, fuck. I just said it again. I need to edit some of these out. This is insane. Damn. I feel like, I mean, I'm gonna just generalize here. Folk music, like it doesn't matter how you sing. It really there are genres, right? Where I was thinking about this the other day. I'm gonna put it to the test if I can remember what I was saying. Pop music is all about the voice. I feel like it's the voice and the way you sell yourself to the audience. It's all about the stage and the outfits and I mean, not to generalize, but that's typically what happens. Blues, jazz, I'm trying to think of other. I mean, those two, and a little bit of folk.
Mm-hmm.
Those three, especially, are how you play the instrument and how what you come up with. And for the songs, I mean, if you're doing instrumental, that's all it is. But with the songs that you have lyrics with, that's where lyrics are most important. I'm trying to think of what other. I feel like actually, like heavy metal is a lot of the set, like a lot of the imaging, and it's a bit like pop, really.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny that those two are the most similar genres, really. But with folk, blues, and jazz, you really don't like. I'm not saying you don't have a good voice, but like you don't need a good voice to be
Yeah.
an amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of
your voice always helps.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's. I mean, with folk, we're not. Oh, fuck's sake! I just said it again. I need to stop pointing it out. With folk, when I listen to it, I care more about the lyrics and what they've said than how they've said it, or like how they've sung it. And I think a great example of that in jazz is Louis Armstrong. That guy had an amazing voice, but no way was anyone else singing like that at the time. In folk, I'm trying to think of like a Jesse Wells, Bob Dylan.
Yes.
Like
100%.
I mean, great singers, and you can't replicate what they do. But at the same time, it's their lyrics and the songs. That's how they market. And so I feel like folk music and folk rock, maybe not folk rock, because with folk rock you do need a good voice, but like I'm talking about Appalachian, straight up, acoustic. It's a lot more emphasis on the writing in the instrument.
I would agree, man. I think folk is it's on a new frontier right now. I mean, like you brought up Bob Dylan, right? Who's like a forefather of folk music. And when you look at what folk, all of these genres in my mind have a purpose. Like
Agreed.
you put on house music for a purpose, and you put on rap music for a purpose.
Yeah.
You put on folk music for a purpose, or you put on some real sad ballad music for a purpose, and they all do a thing. Folk music, I think originally was about making a point,
definitely,
or storytelling.
Definitely.
But really, I guess when you look at the 50s and 60s, folk was a lot of like cultural commentary. Like the explosion of folk music was like the Vietnam War.
The political and economic state of the world.
The political and economic. It's like you have all these folk music sitting on stage, and their guitar says, "This machine kills fascism."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're out there making statements.
Yeah.
And folk music in 2025, it's the first time where folk music, the center of the Venn diagram between pop music and folk music is large. You have pop artists that are also folk artists, like a Noah Kahan or a Miles Smith, who are great artists, but it's the first time where it's doing both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's strange. It's a strange thing to wrestle with, because like to the point of Jesse Wells, right? Who's this brilliant songwriter. This guy puts up a song on social media, "War Isn't Murder." It's like this backhanded thing about politicians and the capitalistic war machine. That's like a really entertaining video, but when you go look at his streaming numbers, it's like the correlation is he streams really well. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a major fan.
I know what you mean.
the conversion is not as crazy as like if a pop artist were to have a video do that many views, and there's all that to say, folk music is in an interesting place, and I feel like it's more important than ever to just be yourself.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And what you were saying about the blurred line, people could argue like they'll be like, I don't like folk music. Folk music is ingrained in all of your favorite artists, whether you like it or not. Olivia, like if your favorite artist is playing an acoustic guitar and singing I don't know, something about love or making a metaphor with nature, that started in folk music, and just like in those secluded areas where there wasn't much else to sing about. And like Olivia Rodrigo, crazy, but some of her music is folk music.
Yeah,
yeah. Damn, we've just cracked the code to summon. We've cracked the code to summon right there. Someone clip that.
Man. There's a video of Jason Isbell talking about songwriting and comparing it to filmmaking, where in folk music or country music, any storytelling genre or song, your job is to construct a scene. And it's kind of like when you're watching a movie or a show and you see that the director or the filmmakers made a mistake, and you see like the mop bucket from set in the back, it's like, oh, it kind of removes you from the movie. You're no longer like immersed in it, and you're recognizing that you're watching a set and people acting. And songwriting is the same way, like you're telling a story and your set is much thinner. And it's like your syllables and your word choice and your mouthfeel all matter, because if you mess one of those things up, it's the mop bucket on set that takes people out of the story. So it's like the art of, okay, how can I do this in a creative way that keeps people engaged and allows them to relate and immerse themselves. I love songwriting, man. It's beautiful. I definitely, that is my favorite part of making music.
Yeah. And okay, this is again, it might take a few seconds to think about, but what do you think your favorite line that you've ever written is? There's got to be one. There's got to be one that you like. I wish I could do that again.
That's a great question.
Thank you. Do I need to play some elevator music? What do you think?
I think
this pressure.
I have an answer.
Okay.
I know what song it is because I'm proud of the song as a whole. I'm trying to think.
Okay, is it one of your songs?
Yes. Oh wait, can it be anybody's line?
Oh, well, if you've written it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you've come up with it, then sure. Don't start giving me some bullshit like "From Lover You Should Have Come Over" by Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
I think it was "My Kingdom Upon a Kiss for a Shoulder" or something. I don't know.
Let's see.
It was back when he was listening to City on Colour at the bus, getting all angsty and shit.
I'm pulling up the lyrics of this song.
Is it one of yours?
Yeah.
Is it one of your most well-known ones or one of the?
No, it's a deeper cut, I think.
Is it? God, you're gonna catch me off guard with this.
I feel like it's a. Can I say the whole like stanza? Because
Sure.
I'm proud of it.
If you start reading off the whole song, there's gonna be problems.
No, it's really just it's the first verse. The first verse I feel really proud of. It's, we're all gonna die in the end, so we make little plans because it helps us to fall asleep. But the naked truth is a tightening noose. I'm afraid of the day I leave. I'm a good man in a bad man's skin. That's what I like to make believe. But I'm a bullshit coward burning the hours till karma comes after me.
Fuck. Wait, what song was that? That was insane.
The song Praying Again that I have. On a songwriting level, I am really proud of that song. I feel like that's my best.
Obviously, that's insane.
Thank you, man.
No, I'm listening to it right now. No, I'll stop. I don't want to get copyright striked.
There's this song about as we talked about earlier, I grew up in church, right? And then I went to school for ministry, and I ran away.
Completely.
And I found myself in this place where I was like unsure of, did I really believe those things? Did I come to those realizations myself? And were those my decisions? Or was I just going with the flow because of open loop psychology, and that's where I was? Was I just clinging to that social setting because of it being a safe place? And I found myself in this place where I felt avoidant because I really, after 10 years of this stuff being deeply ingrained in who I am, it was a major part of my identity. Like, this is what I believe, and this is what I think, and this is the lens through which I look at the world. And I was afraid that, okay, I ran away. If I reapproach, I'm afraid that I will discover that I no longer believe it, and I'll be forced to change my identity and change what I know about myself. And I don't want to do that. So I kind of, for a couple of years,
Yeah.
avoided it. And the song Praying Again is me coming to terms with, you know what, I reapproached, and I'm looking back at this period of my life, and I'm praying again because I do believe it, and this is who I am, and I wasn't wrong or blind or misled, and that was such a relief to me. And I think that the essence of the song is like, after going to school and studying theology and trying to answer all these big questions for myself and for other people, I kind of figured that the more I learned about it, the more unsure I was, which I think is just kind of thematically true in life. The older you get, the less you know. The fewer hills you're willing to die on.
Yep.
And that's what that song is. It's like, I don't know, but I know that this is who I am, and that felt great.
It's quite poignant that you pointed out that one of your favorite lyrics is from a time that you were going through some pretty hard stuff. Do you feel like those experiences in your life make you write better, or make you feel like you can express yourself better? Do you feel like those experiences give you that step up, push forward?
I mean, it's a tricky question. I feel like it's definitely even when life is really great and there's nothing wrong, there's something to express.
Yeah.
The heavy stuff, I think, maybe comes out a bit more potently. And I don't know that it's easier to detect, because even that song was the product of like 2 years of internal monologue and thinking and trying to figure out what the fuck I was even feeling, because I didn't know what I was feeling. And, in a weird way, man, I feel like songwriting, there are really big, obvious emotions and feelings. Like when you feel anger, it's like, that's anger. I'm feeling it. But when you feel sadness, it's like, that's sadness. I'm feeling sadness. When you feel happiness, same thing. And it's like these emotions are wearing big name tags. Hello, my name is, anger, sadness, whatever it is. But then there's a bunch of these smaller emotions that are specific and niche, and they're not wearing a name tag, but they're there. And you feel them and you look at them and you're like, what is that? And I feel like a good song can put a name tag on those things. And does that make sense? Does that analogy make sense?
No, I think it does.
Yeah, man. And I feel like that uncertainty, but acceptance of uncertainty was this feeling that I had where it doesn't feel stable, but it feels right. And it's not anxiety inducing. And there's all these aspects. And I feel like that song, Praying Again, became a name tag for that emotion, you know? And I think that's what I'm trying to do in songwriting. So I guess when the question is like, do hard times make that, are they better fuel for that? I don't know. Like even lately in life, I've been feeling really emotionally ambiguous. Like I don't really know how I feel right now. But that in and of itself is a feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to put a name tag on that. So I'm like, I don't know. Because life isn't necessarily hard right now. I'm having a good time and there's nothing to really complain about. But there's still something to express. And I think that it's always going to be a wrestling match to try and put a name tag on those things. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it does. I think that's I can't add anything else onto that. That was it's quite emotional. I'm gonna skip over a bunch of my questions because we were just talking about lyrics. And I didn't realize I wrote this question, and I'm gonna read it to you as I've written it down here. So this is what I wrote about 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I wrote it like this, but there's an especially poignant lyric in this song, "The Former," and it's and the lyric is, I should have disclosed that it was about the former. Anyways, there's an especially poignant lyric in the song, and it's, "Age won't protect you from love, darling, love won't protect you from age." Now, when you wrote a lyric like that, or a lyric like "Praying Again," this is what I put. Do you sit back and think, fuck me, that's good?
Dude, it's actually it kind of is backwards.
What? No, what?
Well, I'll come across a phrase like that, or I'll think of something like that, and I write it down, and I start a new note every year. I'll show you.
Hit me.
I start a new note every year, like here's lyrics 2025, right? Where when I think of something like that, or I come across something like that, I'm like, that's really good. And it's almost like the song becomes like where can I find a home for this one thought? So it's almost like a line like that, if it's really good, will come before the song. And the song is like, okay, how can I build around this line?
Right.
But every once in a while too, like the rest of that song too, I think is good.
What do you mean it's good? It's amazing. Don't stop bullshitting me with this humble shit. Don't come over here being all humble.
Yeah, you know.
It's
I would say like, yeah, sometimes I'll write a line and be like, yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's what you had to say, really. God, I don't even know where I was going. The Former is a great song, and it's what introduced me to you as a singer, songwriter. And I can't even remember that when it was. 2023. I think when did that came out in 2023, didn't it? I think,
yeah,
or
like January 2023, I think.
I think I found you when that dropped, because I added that to my playlist instantly, and I'm not one to listen to the art. Like, I don't, when I find a song, I'm like, add it to the like songs, play it like 12 times for a week, and then like I'm like, I can't do that anymore. I need to stop. And then it's on to the next song, right? And I didn't deep dive into your discography when I first found you, but there is another song on that EP that I love, and it is Doctor Doctor.
Oh, thank you.
Underrated song in my opinion in like your discography. And I don't want, obviously you're going to be like, well, he's picking from the most well known out of everything that I've done, but hear me out. I fucking love that song, right? And it says on the title, Doctor Doctor voice memo. It's a voice. Is it a voice memo? Voice memo.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just like, yeah, I'll just call it a voice memo. It's not. But why did you decide to release it like that?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
That song felt really like, it's funny because there are songs that are kind of surface level.
Mm-hmm.
There are songs that feel really close to what's actually happening, and it's like, oh, this feels really raw and like scary to say out loud.
Yeah.
That song was one of those. And I recorded it normally and it just didn't feel, for such a raw and naked feeling, it felt weird putting all these clothes and shit on it and polishing it. And I kind of wanted it to just live in the way that it felt. And so, yeah, that also, I think at the time we were up against a deadline too. I was like, oh, this is easy.
I like how you answer really, like deep and, philosophical answer. And then you're like, actually, it's actually just because it was quick.
It was both.
I remember I was genuinely like an hour ago, I was taking a piss and I'm like, this is the one song that I need to ask him. And I'm like, if I was to answer this question, voice memo, it's such a raw song. In my opinion, I feel like songs are more authentic when there's not a bunch of layers on it, and like you can feel like the person is still attached. It's why I hate house music. Don't hate me. I can't deal with it, man. And D&B. But I think that's why I am so drawn, and why many people are so drawn to soul music, to folk music, blues music, country music, because it's the human genre. I don't know, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Human, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what I've got. No, but yeah, I think, especially with that song as well, I don't think I would have enjoyed listening to it, and that's probably quite shallow of me to say, but I don't think it would have been as enjoyable, because once you start talking about something so personal to you, because the listeners can hear that, listeners can know when you're being fake, and I think that's why artists like Somber get so much flack, and sometimes Zach Bryan, because of all the controversies he's been hit with, and why artists are so, on and off with how they feel. Because, I mean, let's take Somber, for example. He gets hit with, this is plastic lyrics, you can tell he's not hurting. But it's like, I don't know. In my opinion, I prefer it. That's bad. I prefer it when my musician's depressed. I prefer it when they're going through so much shit. No,
I love when they're in pain.
I love it when they're in pain. But that's why I think I prefer live recordings as well. Live, in my opinion, or covers. I mean, that might be a bit controversial, but live recordings are a lot better, or acoustic versions are a lot better than the full song release, if that makes sense. Because when you hear a musician play a song live, it's like the greatest experience, because you can tell when that song is true to them.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, that's my 2 pence anyway. I was probably talking for like 3 minutes just yapping, and you were just there.
Dude,
I saw the yawn. I was like trying to cover that up.
Dude, a gripe I have with the music industry is like, dude, it's so human. Like when you're like at a function,
Mhm.
you're at a party or a bar or something. When somebody's being fake, everybody has the ability to pick up on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just innately human. Like people can just tell.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the music industry doesn't see that people do the same thing with music.
Yeah. It does shock me as well.
Like we all have that ability.
Yeah. It's the same. I'm gonna throw my professionalism. You're the music side. Content creation
Mm-hmm.
does my head, and when you can tell when someone's being so fake, but everyone in the comments are like, oh, like that. You get burner accounts begging for money, right? It's a well-known fact. It's like, this is my granddad. All of a sudden, you've got these people who's like, oh my god, there's a trend actually. This really pissed me off. Sorry, I'm going a bit off a tangent, but they were like the ones where it's like messaging their mum, right? And they're like, how much for this pink Mercedes Benz? And it's like 5 million likes and 2 people like Bruno Mars commenting. I'm like, bullshit, did your mum say she's gonna buy you a £40,000 car? And be like, yeah, only 5 million people. Hey, just fuck off. And everyone in the comments are like, yeah, oh, I hope you get it, girly. Shut the fuck up, right? It's bullshit. And that really does my head in. And you can tell it with artists as well. You can fucking tell.
You can.
And I think, oh god, I don't know why people are so. Well, like, I think it's just hesitance on realizing that some of the music people put out is just fake. I feel like it spoils that enigma around a song that you might have connected to a special memory or the worst memory of your life. And so even though it feels real to you, you want it to feel real to them, perhaps.
It's funny, man. There's like it really goes back to what we were talking about earlier of like, what is your music trying to do?
Yeah.
If you're trying to be authentic and that's your brand, then yeah, it's wonky when your content comes in. Dude, the content piece, I'm so in my head about it. I'm like,
Really?
I'm like president of overthinking. But yeah, like, you know what a great example is, man? When you listen to like Britney Spears, like
Mm-hmm.
Baby One More Time, that song doesn't mean anything. It's just a catchy song.
Yeah.
It feels good to listen to because it's like you're bopping your head and it's fun to sing.
Yeah.
That song's not trying to be authentic, and it never claimed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's just a good tune. And too, at the end of the day, like people still like good tunes. It's catchy and it's fun and it just feels good to listen to. And that calls for a certain type of marketing, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, the authentic piece, it's funny because I feel like content authenticity, whatever the hell that means, is just defined differently by everybody, especially generationally. Like
Mm.
Gen Zers, kids who are 15 right now on TikTok have a completely different definition of content authenticity than like a 35-year-old millennial does.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I don't know. That's where I get in my head because I'm like, okay, if I get up here on TikTok and I struggle with this so much, man. Like the job of an artist in 2025 to make money, you have to be like, look at me, everybody, look at me.
Yeah.
And that's just not my nature as a human being.
Yeah.
That feels gross. I want to be like, hey, look at my music.
Yeah.
But in order to do it, you have to get on social media and essentially be an influencer that, you know, in the same way influencers like get a drink deal and they point the label out, you have to like do that in 2025.
Yeah.
And it feels like wrong. And I'm internal wrestling match of like, okay, well, times are changing and evolving and I need to evolve too because I still want to do music for a living and that's what it calls for in 2025.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing, man.
Yeah. I read somewhere, and it might not be true, but a lot of music now, it's like 50% writing the actual song, maybe less, and releasing it, and then like 70%. That's not maths, but 70%, 30%, 70% with just marketing it. I mean, when I've done collabs with record labels and all of this for TikTok, it doesn't matter. I mean, actually, a lot of the time, it doesn't matter how good the song is. If you can't market it, then you're done for. And that's what's funny is, like, as a point of reference, in the 90s, I don't think many of those artists would survive in today's world. Like Elliott Smith.
Dude,
Elliott Smith is not putting him, like, they're not. Elliott Smith is not putting himself on TikTok and telling you, this is my favorite. This is between bars. this is between bars, and this is, like, they're not. And I know. And it's such a weird one as well, because TikTok is such a big part, and that's why people like Somber do so well, because they'll actually, that's one of my, I've linked this well. That's one of my questions is, when an artist is making, you can tell, but like Somber does a song and it's clear that there's a 7-second snippet dead center in the song that's made for marketing and for TikTok, right? You can tell. I can't remember the lyric, but it was like, yeah. That's, I mean, I'm not complaining. That's brought me millions of views on TikTok, just like banging my head on the table, like, oh no, Somber, don't do this. Like, game is game, right? But for an artist like yourself, and I know you said you struggle with the content side, but does it change how you approach music?
No.
Does it not?
No, I'm so adamantly opposed to that, because I refuse to let marketing pervert expression.
Amazing.
Which causes so many issues.
Yeah, of course it does.
Logistical problems, but to me, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Also, like a guy like Somber, I'm like, I've never met that guy. I don't know. That could be a really authentic thing, and I have no idea. I like that song.
It is a good song.
It's hard to say, man. I will say I've spent a lot of time ghostwriting, and it definitely is a thing. People write songs to market.
Yeah.
100%. That's kind of like the entire country music industry. Like, I live in Nashville. Those songwriting sessions, most of those songs are written by multiple people. So you schedule, like, 4 of us are going to show up at this house or this studio or this publisher building, and we're going to sit down and write a song. You show up and people come ready with, like, country music, famously, you start with the title. You have to have a good title.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, you look at all these country songs that go crazy, like Beer Never Broke My Heart, or Whiskey Glasses, or, whatever it is. You start with the title and it's like, oh, that's a cool concept. That's a cool title. That's cool. Country music's all about the word flip. Last night we let the liquor talk. Last night. And it's just, how many times can we cleverly flip this? And then that markets so well. It's built to market. Whereas then you listen to, like, like you mentioned, Lover You Should Have Come Over by Jeff Buckley. It's like the least marketable song ever, but it's beautiful. It's fantastic, and it's generational.
Yeah.
Entire album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you take Jeff Buckley Grace and put that on TikTok? And it makes me wonder, like, are we filtering out good music because it just can't?
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. Like, I think a lot of the artists now that are struggling would have a better chance in the 90s and 80s, because a lot of the time when an artist struggles that I've seen, like, I've interviewed some of the greatest, there's a guy called Jacob Slade, shout out Jacob. He's got a song called However You May and a song called Pressure. And this guy, when I talked to him, he had like 100. I think he stayed at 100,000 monthly listeners, which is insane. Like, that's a great number. But his music is fucking insane. And it's just like, how are you how are you, what's the word? Lifting someone up that's like plastic, right? I'm not going to name an artist because I can't just, I'm not going to call an artist plastic for a point. But this guy is making like incredible music. Same with a girl that I interviewed I think it's 2-3 weeks ago, called Ali San. Amazing. She's like bossa nova, jazz, everything mixed in. It's like, why are these guys not fucking playing to the masses? And like, it's always perplexed me how TikTok deciphers who is listened to. It's not like the autonomy that we have is slowly decreasing. Whether you like it or not, the way you go about choosing music, even on Spotify, play similar songs. You're not actually finding the songs. Spotify are giving you the ones that have what's the word? Submitted a great application for an editorial playlist or whatever they've done to be pushed out. If you're not good, it's insane that like artists that, to no fault of their own, haven't had the luck. Like TikTok is all a lot of luck. If they haven't had the luck with blowing up on TikTok, then it's like, what else are we? What else can you do? It's not like you can just go viral on MySpace or go viral on, I don't know. I can't name any other platforms from the 90s, but yeah, I don't know. It's actually baffling. It's baffling that so much good music is gone or is being lost and fading away.
You know what the shift is for decades, you had to be really good, right? And if you were really good, you would impress or get the attention of a record label.
Yeah.
Then that record label would give you the keys to an audience because they would put your record in a music store, in a record shop. They help you get on the radio. They would give you PR opportunities. So it was like artist impresses label, label gives you audience. Now it's artist has to impress audience, audience gives you label.
Yeah.
But so, then it's like, there's no more. It used to be that A&Rs were the talent scouts and gatekeepers of the music industry. Because there was, it's the year's 1985, you're Van Halen. Those guys toured for 11 months that year. There was no viral moment. It was, you had to go find people to listen to your music in person.
Yeah.
Sell your records and then get people to like it and want to listen to it. And then a record label would come along and say, oh, people like this. We're going to find more people for you because we see that this could scale. Now it really is just a game of Shark Tank where it's like, okay, this is getting views. We're actually not interested in developing you. That's great if it happens, but we want to sign this song that's going crazy and we want to make a quick buck off of it. And that, I think, I don't know if consumers, obviously, no, I was about to make a bad statement. I don't know that I agree with. I think it was productive to have music gatekeeping and talent identifiers.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think the crazy thing is now is that like an A&R has less power than like a channel that has 200,000 followers that plugs you into new music. And that's crazy because that person it's not like they're signing you to UMG or signing you to Sony or whatever else they're signing you to. And that, I think a lot of that is because of the surge in indie music and indie artists and trying to stay away from the label to take control over their music. But yeah, that shift that you described is, it's very true. And I mean, in some ways it's sad. Some ways it's good. I mean, a lot of musicians are probably very happy with where they are.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Really like the internet is the busiest street corner in the world,
Yeah.
and it's free to stand there and play your music, which is like beautiful.
And it's a lot more accessible for everybody to put their music out. I mean, I could put a song out now.
Yeah.
It won't go viral, but there's that 0.0001% chance that it does, and I'm off to play the O2 tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm aware of the time, but I need to ask you about one more song. I had a whole lot of songs. I mean, I had a whole lot of songs, a whole lot of questions here. This has been a great conversation. Like, I'm not dismayed by that as well. But now I read somewhere that you wrote or co-wrote. No, it's gonna be really embarrassing if I'm wrong. Austin. Did you have Austin by Dasher?
No.
What? You didn't?
No, not that. I wrote the song. I co-wrote the song before that on the album called "Drown Me," and Dasher's a great friend though, and I was friends with Dasher for a while before that song had a moment.
Right.
And we were working together quite a bit when she was making that album. And dude, Dasha is one of the best at casting vision,
Right.
being a visionary. Like when she made that album, she had like maybe floating around 100K monthly listeners, maybe less. She was just this girl that had just moved to Nashville from LA and was like, I have a vision to make this album, and this is what I want my brand to look like and what I want this album to feel like. And she did it.
Yeah.
Did it.
She did it.
Went really well.
Yeah.
And it's doing really well. And I'm so impressed by her, man. She I will say, that song kind of blew up on the internet because of the line dance, which I did not make the line dance. I can't dance for shit, but it was my idea. At the time, there was this TikTok page or a couple TikTok pages of like line dancing bars where you go there.
Yeah.
And these videos were getting a bunch of views because they're just entertaining. And I was like, you should get these bars to start doing your dance and post the videos. And I think that was a big piece of it.
That was a good idea.
Sorry, I'm not saying
No, but that's your Gen Z brain coming out right there. Look at you, all this overthinking. No.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go get a job at a label to be a music marketer.
Damn. No, but that's still sick. And I have seen, like, every so often you'll post a story with just like an insane artist. I mean, you posted a story with Abby. Oh, I'm gonna butcher her last name. Bro, she is insane.
She's overpowered, bro.
Yeah. And she was on tour with Sydney Rose, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I just saw her at Hyde Park. Incredible, by the way. Yeah. Insane. Anyways, there is one more question. I lied.
Oh, dude,
I forgot. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get all propped up for this. And been lounging about like some sleaze bag. That was really American. Okay. Steinza, what are your 4 favorite songs?
Oh, yeah, you told me to be ready for this. Oh, I'm gonna go Main Street by Bob Seger.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Ate Up All Their Cake by Bon Iver. I'm gonna go Don't Think Twice, It's All Right by Bob Dylan. Nope, I lied. I'm gonna go Make You Feel My Love by Bob Dylan. And I'm gonna go This is so hard, dude. It's like, how do you pick? I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Northern Wind by City and Color. Thank you.
There you have it. Steinza's 4 favorite songs. Zach, it has been an absolute pleasure. It genuinely has been an absolute pleasure, and it's so nice that I didn't have to refer to my sheet of questions. I had them all prepared, and it was genuinely so just nice that I didn't have to look down. It was such a nice chat with you. So thank you for spending some time with me tonight or today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. I've been keeping up with your page for a while, and I love your stuff, man. I feel like you have a great mind.
Thank you.
I believe in what you're doing, and I think, yeah, it's great, man. So I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm down to do it.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there you have it. There's Zach Steinza to the masses. Thank you for everyone for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.